Good afternoon, Facebook. I didn't really talk about this ever to anyone, so everyone who sees this is going to be like the first. um, but one thing that caught my attention after my mother died, it took us about 3 weeks for Jess, my older sister, to get the money. It was $3,000 for her cremation, and I wanted to see the body before she was cremated. Um, when they had my mother's body out and I went, my mother was a big lady. So what concerned me was I thought, because I didn't get to see like the little refrigerators that they're all in, but they looked kind of small. And I was like, well, which fridge is my mother going to be in? Because my mom was a big lady. She was almost 300 pounds. And they, when her body was there, her face was there. It was my mother, but they didn't clean her body in 3 weeks. She had blood still on her lips from God knows what they did to her. She shouldn't have had blood because she had an incubation tube down her throat, for a good month before she passed. Over a month. I think it's 7 weeks before they talk about that there's a potential of an infection into the larynx and everything. Anyhow, but I noticed her body was very small. I was like, what did they do? It smushed her body in there? Like, how did they even do it? But now it's a little more apparent because it was almost like it was in a little box, like it was cut, like her body was cut, her shoulders, because all I saw was, it's right here, the neck area, and then it was like they had opened it up enough so that you just had the neck and the face. But yeah, it looked like a lot of her body was cut off, like possibly her arms. A lot of her organs might have been taken out from the sides, like her liver, things like that, pancreas, the side organs. Yeah, it was kind of disgusting, but I didn't want to think about that. To be honest, my mother's energy was still, even after 3 weeks, my mother's energy was still so strong that it just felt like home to be with her. I wanted to sit there forever and not leave her. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. I don't remember the mortuary that we had her at. It was in Victorville on the corner. It was on the corner in Victorville off of Highway 18, where Highway 18 goes up toward the freeway. Anyway, I mean, if I looked, I could find out, but off the top of my head, I can't remember the mortuary that she was at. But yeah, I think they cut her up and did her organs. My mother told me she did not want to be an organ donor. So that was another illegal thing that they did to her body, aside from suffocating her while she was in the hospital. Anyhow, I just wanted to share that. There are some things, sometimes we need to pay more attention. And then, other times it's like we hear a word or a phrase and it brings us back to those thoughts or those moments. And for me, that's where it's like the recollection begins. I hope other people don't have to go through that. But I would definitely suggest that if you get your loved one cremated, pay the money to see their body and to see if anything was done to them. Because if they're not going to tell us about it, and they're not going to put it into the agreement in the contract in order to respect the dead, the least we should be able to do is investigate for ourselves. Give our respect to our own dead, because we're the ones that care, right? Anyhow, God bless. I hope everybody takes care. I didn't want to make it a morbid point, but it's just just a thought that got clarity for me. Well, keep on scrolling Facebook.